Just before we look at the Bitcoin TA, remember you can join our trading group right now. Lifetime membership is just $200. Sign up for 12 months, $150. That's $12.40 per month. Sign up for 6 months for $100, or if you just want to have a look for a month, it's $40. You get access to all 12 Telegram channels. Visit www.bpoi.uk. add/join if you just want to go straight to the sign up page. Once we hit 100 members, we'll be giving away $1,000 in crypto via our wallet bombs. We are offering a free channel so people can get a sneak peek of some of the things that we're doing in the group. More details coming on this tomorrow. Right, let's have a look at the Bitcoin TA. Morning guys, thanks for watching. 13th of January, Thursday 13th of January, just doing our daily Bitcoin updates for the group and posted on YouTube. Hello to any YouTube viewers. So following on from yesterday, we saw a break above a key level 43,558. Okay, this is a key level for us. The aim being what we were hoping for. So this was completion of potentially a cup pattern. Okay, so you got the beginning of the cup, you got a move down and then a move back up, completion of the cup. Okay, normally cup and handle pattern, you see a degree of consolidation after the pattern is complete. So will we see a slight move down from Bitcoin where we form the handle before moving back up again? Yet to be decided. What's key at the moment is we need to hold these levels. Okay, previously whenever we've had a bit of a breakout, Bitcoin has failed to hold key levels. Okay, so we can see we had a breakout here, failed to hold the level. We had a breakout here, failed to hold the level. Breakout here, failed to hold the level. Okay, on this occasion we've hit potentially what might be the bottom, 39,592. Strong move up, and all of these were red. We've ticked all of these resistance levels off. Okay, including trend lines and various other things up to the top here. What would be bullish if Bitcoin could hold this level? So 43,588, are we going to be able to hold this level? At the moment, I don't think so. Okay, I think there will be a degree of consolidation. I think there's going to be a test of this yellow trend line or this particular support line here, 42,807. Okay, so I think we're going to be testing these areas potentially before we move back up to test the ultimate trend line. Okay, so this is the upper trend line of the long-term falling wedge, which I will show you in a second. To me, Bitcoin bullish above this level, although we do need to tick off these two levels as well. If Bitcoin can break out of this falling wedge above this level and then just start to trade sideways in this area, I think we will then push off and start to move up again. Okay, we're definitely not out of the woods yet. This is a great move, but we are still bearish on Bitcoin. Until we break this upper trend line, we are bearish on Bitcoin. So just bear that in mind. Okay, Bitcoin. So daily chart on Bitcoin. Okay, we've done this sort of fractal thing. I'm not one for fractals, but we've just included it in. And previously, we can see these falling wedges. Okay, sorry, let me get my pen tool. Falling wedge, breakout, falling wedge, breakout, falling wedge. Bit steeper this time. Are we going to see that breakout? Yes, I think we are. When are we going to see it? I'm not too sure yet. So this fractal is a fractal of this area here. Okay, this is the most similar move that I can find from Bitcoin previously, and this fractal is essentially a copy of that. Okay, and we can see that the patterns are kind of lining up. The support and resistance areas and how far it's falling and consolidating is pretty much spot on. So does that mean, if it is following this particular fractal, does that mean that we are due for a breakout of this trend line, potentially some more downside until we test this yellow trend line, this previous long-term trend line, or the trend line of the falling wedge before we then push off and then break resistance levels and move higher? Okay, so we're just keeping an eye on this fractal as well, just to see what happens. If that does happen and we do get that breakout, what we have to be careful of is where Bitcoin moves up to. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this particular trend line like so. Okay, we need to make sure that Bitcoin is putting it in a higher high. Okay, that is absolutely paramount that Bitcoin puts in this higher high. So if Bitcoin starts trading and moves upwards And like we see here, starts to move down again. We've created a new downward channel which Bitcoin could be trading in, and we could see Bitcoin moving down. Okay, it's imperative if we do get a breakout and a move higher, that Bitcoin puts in a new all-time high above 69,000. Okay, that then is a higher high and we're in an uptrend. Okay, if we put in a lower high here, okay, we're in a downtrend. We don't want to be in this downtrend. Okay, so once Bitcoin does break out, we need to be very careful of around about the 62 to 65,000 mark for a rejection and a move down. Okay, so just bear that in mind as well. S&P, okay, so we were following the S&P and seeing, because there's a lot of talk about correlation between the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, and the S&P broke this resistance level, currently turning it into support. Okay, so what we're looking to see if basically if Bitcoin is following what the S&P is doing. Now, if the S&P starts to move down and Bitcoin moves down as well, then we continue to monitor the S&P more closely. Okay, so we're just keeping an eye on the S&P. Bitcoin dominance broke down, so it lost this particular trend line that it was trading in, but we have broken out of a long-term falling wedge. If we go to the daily, add alert, reset chart, go to full chart. Okay, we can see this breakout. We're currently retesting upper trend line. Are we going to see a push off from Bitcoin dominance? If we see a push off from Bitcoin dominance, you can expect the altcoins to perform less effectively. Okay, altcoins will not move as well if Bitcoin dominance continues to rise. Okay, so just keep an eye on that situation. Bitcoin shorts are rising. Okay, so this is Bitfinex trading exchange, generally one of the bigger exchanges for shorting Bitcoin. Shorts are still rising. Okay, normally when you see Bitcoin take out some of these resistance levels, you see people close short positions if they believe Bitcoin is going to continue moving upwards. Now the question is, if people are still short in Bitcoin, do they expect the Bitcoin price to move downwards? So we have to keep an eye on Bitcoin shorts just to see what happens here. Like I say, I believe we will lose this level, but I think we will find support in these areas here. Okay, so Bitcoin 4 hours, just have a look at the indicators. So let me reset the chart. Okay, so you've got stock RSI just moving down to oversold area. Okay, so we need to keep an eye on that. We're waiting for stock RSI to move down to this area before potentially we re-enter a trade. Got the MACD been moving up nicely, still, you know, middle ground, but looks like it's starting to turn bearish. Okay, got the stock RSI above 50, bullish. Is this going to start pointing down as well? If we have all three moving down together, you can definitely expect some downside from Bitcoin. So keep an eye on your indicators. Let's have a look at the daily indicators. Okay, daily indicators. So we can see from the stock RSI that strong move up from Bitcoin. Excuse the messy chart, doesn't look as good when we're looking at indicators as well. Okay, so we can see Bitcoin oversold, strong move up. We've just had a bullish MACD cross. RSI 40, still bearish territory, above 50 bullish. Okay, so we're just going to keep an eye on what happens with regards to the MACD and the stock RSI. If the MACD crosses bullish, we might find that the stock RSI is pegged to the top, which would mean continued upside. Okay, if the stock RSI starts to move down and we start to see a roll in the MACD because it's only just turned bullish, then we may see some more downside. Okay, so we're keeping an eye on the daily time frame as well. Weekly, okay, weekly oversold, but we've had that bearish cross downwards on the weekly. Let's turn all of these indicators off so we can see what's happening with the weekly here. Okay, so we were oversold at the top here, moved down, coincides with a move down on the stock RSI and a move down with the MACD. Once the weeklies turns bullish and the MACD starts to turn up, I am quite confident we will see upside. Okay, but until that happens, and don't forget the weekly time frame takes a long time to move. Okay, so this could be some time, but we may well at the moment start moving sideways and then start to push on up. Okay, previous times when we've had strong move upwards, you can see here, okay, oversold, turning up, MACD turning. We're not getting that turn yet. As soon as we start to see these lighter bars on the histogram, then potentially we're going to see some upside. People might be entering positions now on the basis that they believe the MACD is going to start to turn up along with the stock RSI. Okay, RSI pointing upwards again under 50, but looking a bit more bullish, and potentially found some support there. So you can see that dotted line. We're looking at support in this area and this area. So are we going to see a bounce from the RSI? Okay, so bear those in mind. DXY, okay, so dollar currency, move down, strong move down. So essentially Bitcoin does the opposite of what the DXY is doing. So this is another thing that we're just monitoring at the moment. DXY moving down, Bitcoin. So this is the daily on the DXY, Bitcoin on the daily moving up. Okay, so it's important to keep an eye on support resistance levels on the DXY. Ideally we want the DXY to keep moving down. Bitcoin potentially will keep moving up. Ethereum BTC, general idea of what the altcoin market is doing, starting to move upwards. Okay, and we've seen yesterday in group posted a number of setups. Rose, I think one of our setups did 76% in 2 days. Okay, so we're keeping an eye on Ethereum BTC just to see what happens there. Okay, so just quickly go over to the news. 1 second, let me bring that into play, because this is what you've got to be careful of right now. Okay, so there's going to be mixed signals within the marketplace. YouTube channels are going to be screaming Bitcoin is going to the moon. Okay, so my advice would be don't spend too much time on YouTube and listening to what people have to say, unless you respect them as a trader, because a lot of the YouTubers are paid to actually produce videos which will essentially tell you incorrect information. So Bitcoin tests 44,000 resistance level as US inflation reaches 40-year high. So this was yesterday. We covered this in the group. I'm not going to go too much into this one, but this is a good read. You should have a look at that one, posted in the news channel. Bitcoin breaks out from descending channel, targeting previous support. So let's have a look at this one. Okay, so this is on the 6-hour time frame. So I'll map that in tomorrow's. We'll just have a look at that one and see if that correlates to any of the charts that we're looking at. But in my opinion, we're in a larger falling wedge. And if I bring Bitcoin back up again, 1 second. Let me go to the, actually I'll just turn these signals on here. In my opinion, we're looking at a breakout of this particular trend line for bullish action, okay, or to begin some sort of bullish sentiment. I think we'll break out, retest, start to move higher. Okay, so I'm not paying too much attention to that particular story. Institutional investment will boost Bitcoin to 75,000, says a SEBA CEO. Again, hype machine in play. So you're going to get a lot of these news stories as Bitcoin starts to turn bullish. Hype machine is going to start up, and people are going to tell you that Bitcoin is going to the moon, going to 75,000, going to 100,000. The key thing is to play the chart that is in front of you, because anything can happen. Top or bottom, traders at odds over whether Bitcoin will keep rising. Well, this is very true. We're not sure whether the bottom has come in. So will Bitcoin keep rising? I think we're going to see a little bit more downside at the moment, but we shall see. Is the bottom in? Personally, I think not. Excuse me. I think that potentially we're going to see this. You're going to see a retest of these levels again. I think we're going to see a double bottom potentially. So retest, Bitcoin moves down to these sort of areas, and then I think that will be a confirmed bottom. Once we've tested that twice, I think that will be confirmed bottom, and then I think we will start to push off and move higher, all being well. Bitcoin's incoming death cross. We mentioned this quite a few times. This is what historical data is telling us. Excuse the voice, recording far too many videos at the moment. According to the crypto analyst Lark Davis, Bitcoin is about to record its 9th death cross in its short history. The death cross is deemed a bearish indication, and it appears when the daily moving average 50 falls over crosses over the 200 moving average. So obviously there's a lot of this going on. Okay, again, people saying that death cross is doom and gloom, but most of the price action happens prior to the death cross happening. Once the death cross happens, normally, I might be proved wrong here, but normally you would see a turn in the moving averages and things starting to move upwards. Okay. That said, the technical indicators history of bear market prediction is uneven, with a 50% success rate. Previous death crosses, which occurred in 2014 2018, were followed by a sell-off. However, death crosses seen in June 2021 and late March 2020 and October 2019, on the other hand, bear traps or false signals signaling major price bottoms. The death cross in October 2019 triggered a 42% pump the day before. Okay, are we going to see that, or are we seeing that in play right now? That's what we need to understand. But what I'm saying is, don't pay too much attention to people saying that the death cross is the start of the bear market. The death cross is probably the towards the end of the bear market. Okay, but all you need on a death cross day is a load of FUD and the price will drop. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Hundreds of billions, if not trillions, set to flow into Bitcoin as US inflation hit 7% for the first time in nearly 40 years. Hype machine in play. Okay, play the chart in front of you. It's good to have a read of some of these stories because some of the information is good, but remember that I'd say 70% or 80% of people read the headlines, don't read the full text. So you see this headline, and if you're new to investing and this is being backed up with other people saying Bitcoin is going to the moon, you're going to enter a position on the basis that everyone is telling you that Bitcoin is going to go to 75 or 100 grand, but you have to play the chart in front of you. And that's why it's so important to get your technical analysis skills in place, so that you are able to predict what's likely to happen and where support and resistance levels are. And resistance levels are important when trading altcoins. So if you're on Bitcoin and you can see Bitcoin is, let's say Bitcoin moved up to this level, okay, right here we've got an area of confluence, we've got a trend line moving down, we've got a resistance line, we've got a trend line above, we've got bears absolutely lined up in this area. If you're trading altcoins and Bitcoin moves up to this area, you want to be selling your altcoin position, not trading advice, but that's what I would do. And then if the Bitcoin price pushes above this level, retests and start to move higher, you enter back into your trade. Okay, what you don't want to be doing is making these really big gains out of these altcoins and then watching the Bitcoin price fall and your altcoin gains being eroded, being lost. So knowing where support and resistance levels are for Bitcoin is really important for altcoin trading. Okay, so if Bitcoin moves up here, sell your altcoin positions. If Bitcoin gets rejected, open your altcoin positions, new altcoin positions with your profits at the next support line, 43,588, if it holds. And like I say, sell your altcoins here. If Bitcoin does push on above, retest and start to move higher, just re-enter your altcoin position. Okay, so trading isn't difficult as long as you understand when to buy and sell. Don't hold downtrends. Look at the chart, understand where support and resistance levels are, set alerts, and then your trade, you will become more successful. The difficulty I think people find is where to trade, what coin to trade in, and that's what we aim to help you with. So we're launching the Training Academy, which is 40 plus tutorial videos, fast track videos on how to trade and how to do TA. And then we're also scanning the market all the time, looking for the best setups. But we are cautious traders, so we will advise where we can on how we would trade that particular situation, not trading advice, and basically give you that information. Okay, just very quickly, just have a look at Rose. So just give you an example of coins that we look at. This is Rose. So we've been tracking Rose for some time. We added these two trend lines. You can see that Rose is in a clear uptrend. Okay. We added this area of value. So if Rose hits this area of value, look at the chart and potentially enter a position. Okay. Recently we can see Rose has moved down to area of value, started to move up again to the upper trend line. My advice to the group is to sell around about this area. Don't try and get as much profit as possible out of a particular coin unless you're doing a long-term hold. Okay, look to sell, midway. This is where resistance was. Looking to sell in this area. But Rose absolutely smashed it. It moved above the upper trend line. So now it changes to, okay, keep an eye on Rose. We're looking for a retest of this upper trend line and then a move on upwards. Okay, price discovery. But this particular setup here, if you did buy area of value, you're looking at, if you went for the top 76%, 54% if you were to sell in the area that I would sort of advise to sell and take some profits off the table at least. But you can see with Rose, clear uptrend. So we just need to set our alerts to catch when Rose starts to move down. Now, will it hold this trend line? Not sure yet. We need to wait and find out. But if Rose moves down, looking at area of value in this particular area, alert set. So when the price action hits this area, an alert is sent to the trading group in the alerts channel, breakout channel, telling them to have a look at the chart, because there might be a potential trade with Rose coming up. And we do that with a load of different setups. So we do the manual work for you. We look for coins which are in a strong uptrend, and then we set alerts which will alert in the various channels that we've got, telling you to go and have a look at the chart, and then we're able to do an updated video if it does hit the area of value, and we take into account what Bitcoin is doing at the same time. Okay, so Rose has been particularly profitable recently. And the other thing we can see, you know, volume spike, volume spike, volume spike. So are we going to continue upwards? Depends on what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin moves down, Rose will move down. Rose might move down quite hard. You might see this sort of sell-off, people taking profits, and then you're looking to re-enter Rose down the bottom here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We just want to get the numbers up at the moment. We are new, but we're providing good content every single day. I know these videos are quite long sometimes, but definitely worth getting to the end of these videos, just for an idea of what we do in group. And if you're in group, I'll be looking at some setups over the next couple of days. But let's just keep a track of Bitcoin. I think we're going to see a little bit of downside short term before more upside. But let's see if we can break out of this falling wedge. All right, cheers guys.